Hello, we are recording inside today because we have a new microphone and we're testing it out, so enjoy. The ABC model. The ABC model is a cognitive behavioural technique within psychology which is used to identify negative thoughts or feelings for certain situations you may face. It provides insight into how people perceive events and then the consequences from those perceptions. So first up we got A. A is for activation or activating event. Activation is an event which draws out an internal or external response within an individual. An example of this is if you were to walk into a crowded room and everyone suddenly goes silent and turns to you. This is an activating event because it elicits a response in your mind. The same for if you were to walk onto a football field and the cogs start turning in your mind. This is another activating event. Could be something said, something done, something experienced or observed. It is something that causes a reaction. The main theme is that an activating event is something that elicits a thought to perceive that event. This perception that you have wields complete ability to determine your response to the situation or how you feel about that situation going forward. And this is where B for belief comes in. Belief is that internal dialogue which elicits from the activating event. It is your thoughts or beliefs around what you are currently or just witnessed. If you are in that crowded room and you perceive everyone is watching and judging you, then this is the belief you have formed around that activating event. If on a date and you're involved in a longer than intended silence, what belief do you conjure in your mind? Belief is your perception of the event you're witnessing. And then you got C, consequence. C is the consequence which occurs due to your belief around the activating event. So what is the consequence from the perception you have formed rather than from the event itself? Belief, it is a process of thought, and it can be rational or irrational, positive or negative, and this determines whether you have a positive or negative consequence. If you perceive that silence on the date as awkward, then the consequence of that belief could be additional nervousness or a heightened state or forced conversation. If you perceive that silence as a peaceful intermission, then the consequence will be a calm, genuine conversation when the talking starts up again. If you believe you'll be a bad player when you go onto a football field, then the consequence will be you are more anxious to play. You're probably more hesitant as well, and you'll make more errors. If your belief is that you are just there for fun and just to play a game with your mates, then the consequence of that is you will just be having fun. It is the consequence we have of the perception of the event rather than the actual event itself. So pick up on when you have irrational thoughts or negative thoughts going into a situation or about a situation, and attempt to make them more positive, as a more positive perception will invoke a more positive experience. The moral of the story is you will have activating events, A, which triggers a belief or perception around that event, B, then belief determines the consequence of such event. C, it is not the event itself which triggers your downfall, but the perception you have formed of the event. The belief determines the consequence, not the activating event. The ABC model is designed for identifying irrational beliefs then understanding the consequences of those irrational beliefs, then rather deciding to turn them into more positive beliefs for a more positive consequence. Identify irrational. Thoughts aren't often correct, and you have the power to wield them for your benefit, so you may as well do so. Anyway, that was the ABC method: activating event, belief, and then consequence. I hope you got something out of it. The full blog is here, and apart from that, thank you for listening and thank you for all the support. See ya.